right. Thank you, colleagues, for making this meeting. It's just a preparatory meeting towards our the CANECSA conference, scientific conference, and AGM scheduled for next week. And the good news is, as we're aware, the curriculum we all worked on has been approved at different levels of the CANECSA leadership structure. All right from the scientific committee to the governing council to everyone. So it's been approved, and I want to congratulate each and every one of us for this landmark achievement, because this is the first of its kind in the region. So permit me to say congratulations to each and every one of us. And the second thing is that through the efforts of Professor Banguti, we had a meeting with Dr. Wango, and we pushed that this curriculum, not only has it been accepted, we need to launch this CANECSA Critical Care Fellowship at the scientific conference and AGM. We reasoned that there wouldn't be a better opportunity to do so. It's going to create publicity for the fellowship program, and everybody is going to be aware of it, and it will also aid the recruitment of our prospective members. So that is what we have discussed. So the first thing is we're discussing the launching of the Critical Care Fellowship of CANECSA. And that is what I want us to first of all discuss. That was the first item on the agenda. And the second one of the things we had discussed even from right on the onset of the curriculum development is the award of foundation fellowship to members, deserving members, starting obviously from those of us who are critical care champions in the different member countries. So those are the two things. I would like to hear from us, and then we can have a harmonized presentation during the launch at the scientific and AGM of CANECSA coming up next week. So, colleagues, that is just the background information, and I would like to hear us. Let's hear our views and let's comment. Thank you. You can unmute, and if you want to say something, please feel free to unmute, and let's hear your contributions.
First of all, colleague, I would like to know who among us who is attending the AGM in Mombasa.
Okay, I think that's a very good question.
So that at least we know. Do you know any of us in the committee, in the Champions Committee, who is attending the AGM? Because then we will know how many are we in Mombasa, and we can organize or structure the way we will intervene and make our efforts of recognition to be addressed. So how many of us? Well, I'm attending, that's one. I'm attending the AGM. So I don't know who else. Prof. Toby is not attending. So Chris, are you attending? Masuzi, are you attending?
No, unfortunately, I just came back from Italy for the World Airway Management meeting. So I'm unable to attend. And next week we have, week after we have exams. So just too busy.
Same here. I'm unable to attend another meeting and preparing for exams.
Okay.
David?
David?
I am definitely attending by virtue of being one of the hosts.
David, you are cheating because you are in Kenya. Okay. That's good that we have
I
David.
have to attend.
Okay, David. So as per now, it's me, it's David and me. So we'll meet there. So let us now hear from ideas how we shall put together all the points, because we will be, one of us will be delegated
Yeah.
to stand for it. So we need to represent very well the team or the committee.
Can I just say that our country rep, CANECSA rep, Talishi Shivolo, will be attending. She runs the ICU in my neighboring hospital. So I don't know
Okay,
if...
I think that is good.
Mm.
Oh, Chris, oh my God, I don't. But she was not part of the champions. I would have loved her to be part of this meeting. But you do well to communicate our decisions, and she's going to serve dual purposes. She's going there as a country rep, and she's going to represent you, Chris, as one of the critical care champions. All right. So tentatively, and we agree we have 3 members of the critical care champions attending the scientific conference. Professor Pauline.
So let me try to come back to something Professor Toby was saying. You know where we are coming from. It has been like a 2 years journey. We've worked very hard. For the committee, it has been 3 years, 2 years, but for myself and for Toby and myself, it has been 3 years, because we had 1 year to work for this curriculum to be put together. Then Toby joined me, he started polishing it, then we submit to the president. It went up all the way to UK, submitted to a committee of experts. They send the feedback. Then we made this champions committee to start working together. So what I have, the impression I have is like, we know there is some expert in critical care. So now as the food is well cooked, there is a lot of people who are trying now to take it. But we need to have a foundational fellow is an honorary title given as an award to people who has worked very hard. Yes, I can understand that your colleague will join. She can represent you, but for the title of the foundational fellow, we need to recognize the effort of people who have worked tireless to make this baby alive. This is something we want to really, because if we don't do things like that, then no one will work for the obstetric curriculum, no one will work for adults curriculum, because there is no award. You do the work, someone else come and take it. You do the work, there is no recognition. We don't ask for money. We don't ask CANECSA to pay for us, because I tried even to ask them to support my ticket. They are not supporting anything for me. Apart from I'm a presenter, they will pay my registration and maybe one night at the hotel. The rest I'll pay myself. I don't claim, but at least for the work we do, we should have some recognition. So we are trying to make you understand that this claim for the foundational fellow should be a personal recognition for the whole work you have put together to make this document alive. And remember, after this, there is a lot of work to do now, to producing the logbook, making sure the policy and procedures and guideline for follow-up, monitoring and evaluation, up to the exam in 1 year. It is really, it's not a marathon no longer. It is a sprint, because in 1 year we have to exam. So, if we are not recognizing people who have worked very hard, then they will be tired. They can't work for another year to make it happen in a good way. So that's why we wanted you guys, by this meeting, to unite our voices and tell the AGM, the governing body, that it is not about recognizing those who are already big intensivists somewhere to come and take the cake. No, there will be faculty like us. But for the foundational fellow, it will be recognized for those who worked throughout as a champions committee of this curriculum. I don't know if you agree with me or if there is some other point of view.
Yes, I think I should allow other people to say something, and then we would check your the WhatsApp. I've just sent to you the proposed criteria that was drafted by me and Professor Pauline. Has gone through it, but let's have comments. I think somebody else has joined us. Let's recognize Kachingwe Mishunge, the only lady amongst us, I guess.
Hi, how's everybody?
Let's see your beautiful face, ma'am.
I'm just yes.
Hey, good to see you.
Hi there. Hi, everybody.
Welcome. Where are you? Which country are you from?
So I'm from Malawi. I'm one of the specialists from Malawi. I was added on the group sometime. Currently I'm not in Malawi, but I do plan to go back, but I'd still like to engage in this work. So my participation has been on and off so far, but I'm currently on the group and looking to engage and help further.
Okay, thank you very much. How do we call you? Mitsunge. Oh, am I right?
Mtisunge.
Sorry?
Mtisunge.
Mitisunge. All
No, no,
right, you're
Toby.
welcome.
Toby, this is not Nigerian. Mtisunge is easier for the.
Yes, Mtisunge, yeah.
Yeah, but for
Mtisunge is
Nigerian, don't
that's
put
a
it
good
Nigerian.
pronunciation, yes. So I'm from Malawi, thank you.
You're welcome. The
Does
first
that
thing, will
mean
you
that
be
you should
at
keep us?
the critical? Will you be at the
Exactly, that's what
conference
it
in
means.
Mombasa? Sorry?
No, Masusu, I think asked whether it means you should keep us. I'm guessing you're from Zambia, is that correct or no?
Yes, and that's why it's easy for me to know it.
Yeah, I figured as much.
All right, good, good. So, Mitsunge, will you be at Mombasa for the CANECSA conference and AGM?
So unfortunately, this time I won't be able to join because I couldn't take some time off work, but hopefully for the next one.
Okay, okay. All right, thank you. Just to bring you on board, um, I hope you're aware that the curriculum we tirelessly
Yeah,
worked
yeah,
for has been approved,
yeah,
and both are the different layers of leadership of CANEXA. And
mm,
what we're pushing for, which has been agreed from the pilot meeting we had, that this program will be launched at this scientific conference and AGM starting next week in Mombasa,
yeah,
Kenya. All right. So what
mm,
we're looking at is we're looking for members, part of the critical care champions, who would be there to represent the group. Presently, we have 3 people: Professor Banguti, Dr. David Obada, and the country rep for Namibia will be represented. So what Professor Pauline was saying before I saw you join was we have a proposed criteria for foundation. What is it called? Foundation fellows of critical
yeah,
care of CANECSA, which should rightly be awarded to all the champions who have worked for the development of the curriculum, who we also serve as faculty. So it's an international faculty that we're having, and we can't have fellows without teachers. So that's where we are. So you're welcome on
mm,
board.
thank you.
Yeah. Was it who wanted to say something, Chris or somebody? Can we just ventilate on control mode? Eh? Let's ventilate on control mode on the issues on ground. Thank you.
I see you sent a document explaining some of the criteria. Maybe we need a bit of time to examine it, but in principle, it's okay. The only question I had was, as a foundation fellow, because we are all fellows of CANECSA, so you are then going to be a fellow of,
Critical care.
okay.
With the fellows of CANECSA, we are fellows of CANECSA anesthesia.
Okay. Okay.
This one is for critical care fellow, because at the end of the 1 year of the critical care fellowship training, our trainees will be awarded fellows of critical care.
Okay.
CANECSA.
Okay, then it's clear. Thank you.
Yeah. Dr. David, Dr. Zambo, please, Dr. Musungi.
So maybe
I'd like to hear from you.
Maybe to complement a little bit, Chris, you know, we are trying to encourage people in other subspecialties to develop subspecialties. Like parallel to this, we were also working for obstetric, and there is another one called PATA for pediatric, which was adopted in CANECSA through PATA. PATA is there is a lot of politics and global, which was not done by our colleagues. But this is the first one from the scratch done by ourselves, CANECSA people. And we are trying to encourage people in obstetric, but you can see I'm in the committee. No one is moving. People want to be paid. People are resisting. So that's why to reward those people of critical care, we've worked very hard without any incentive, any recognition. We need to start incentivizing people who are working for CANECSA to do some extra mile. So that's where it's an innovation, and we need to start from somewhere and call others to do the same in their specialties.
Thank you, Professor Pauline. Yes, David, the man that killed Goliath, please say something.
Thank you. I think I get Prof. Pauline's point, but then sometimes we also don't need to reinvent the wheel too much. I mean, we have the mother college that must have also awarded some foundational fellows. And I am assuming that the criteria you've shared is largely borrowed from the original CANECSA fellowship, which largely seems to be fine. But then we probably need also to factor in Prof. Pauline's point of how do you recognize the people who go out of their way to actually develop something that everybody else wants to be paid for.
Yeah.
So there has to be some difference in the sense that if you're going, everybody gets the foundational fellow, then there is really no difference between those who burnt the midnight oil, so to speak, versus those who said, well, I have all the credentials, so I'm also going to be a foundational fellow. I don't know if I don't have an answer to that, but I think maybe Prof. Pauline's point is valid in the sense that the people who went out of their way, sacrificed their time, and did more or less pro bono work to get the ball rolling should have some level of recognition that is a little bit different or independent from everybody else. And yes, we need fellows to start for the program to go running, because it also will be a bit awkward for you to train fellows who then graduate and become fellows and you are not yourself and you are the one teaching them.
Yeah.
So I don't have an answer. It's definitely valid. Both points are valid in the sense that for the small team that sacrificed their time to get to birth the baby, some recognition, not monetary, so whatever title we are going to call them, but also for the inaugural teachers, it will be unusual for them to teach someone to become a fellow of a program that they themselves are not fellows. So I don't know how we are going to balance that so that we factor in both points.
Maybe I can come in. I think for a lot of fellowships, there's foundation fellows and then there's honorary fellows. So there's a difference in criteria for those two. And then I guess the other way to recognize people at an annual congress or whatever is some sort of award, outstanding service award or outstanding contribution, and you call it by, I don't know, someone's name or whatever. So those are the two things to add. Thank you.
Maybe I can chime in. I guess most of what has been said, I agree with. I guess you risk, just like the previous speaker before had spoken, that there might be some people who have worked on this. I'm just looking at the criteria. I've seen that it's a lot of things that are required for you to be a foundation fellow. And I just don't know if we all, those that actually worked on the actually qualify. It would be sad to really have somebody who worked so hard and they miss one or two of those things and that they are not considered, yet they worked on it. So I guess it's something that we really need to think around, even as we agree here. Because I haven't gone through the whole list, but it looks like it's a whole list of things. And I just wonder if that was what, when we were coming up, I remember when we were coming up with the foundation fellows for the CANECSA, when it was just starting, and I remember I was graduating in 2017 at the time, and I don't think that I would have actually qualified for it if it had been this stiff. So it's only really important to just think about how stringent we will be with the requirements so that people that actually worked on the curriculum do not feel sidelined, that they don't actually qualify. I just noticed that in the group, somebody had said 5 to 10 years was too much. I just wonder if it's stemming from the fact that it seems to have been a lot of years. And remember, most of our programs here in Africa, I don't know about other places, like here in Zambia, the anesthetic and critical care program only started in 2012. And that's when we started training anesthetists. So the bulk of the
apologies, colleagues, I was thrown out. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I just came back. No, go ahead, Dr. Zambo. I'm just saying that I got thrown out, so
Yes.
I missed what Dr. David was saying. But please go ahead. Somebody may
Yes,
give me a recap.
I was saying that most of
Are
the
you still
programs.
recording, or you have to restart the recorder? Sorry.
I think it's still recording.
I think it was still recording. I was just saying that
Yeah.
most of the programs, we remember that most of the programs are still quite young. I speak for Zambia. I'm not sure about Rwandan program, but Zambian program is relatively almost 11 years. So most of the anesthetists are still quite young. And looking at some of the criteria that we have set here, I was saying that we risk sidelining some of the anesthetists or critical care experts that were here looking at this program. So we just have to be very careful, even as we are looking at the criteria that we're going to use for these foundation fellows, if at all we go down that route. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Zambo.
So maybe what we can catch from those interventions from those wise people, I suggest Professor Toby to allow people on the platform to suggest some proposal or to cut a little bit short this criteria. It's too long and too many, and some will exclude some of the people we've been working together. So let us make it a little bit light at the beginning, and it will be elaborated more as we are moving. So we should include all the people who worked, because there is some people who didn't work, but now as it comes to award, you will see even people who never put any point on the curriculum coming in and trying to get awards. So that's the problem. But for now, let us make it short. Let us target all people who worked. I don't know how to point them, but let us maybe say all the people on the champions, critical care champion committee. I don't know if it to be all should be awarded. Then from there, we start seeing who is contributing or not. Or maybe say, okay, even though we are on the champions committee, but we know some didn't work, and they should be honest to not claim that award. I don't know how we'll make it, but let us avoid a long list of criteria which may exclude even some of the input, the key people we are working with.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the important thing I was looking at is to have a structure. That's what I'm trying to do here. We have a structure upon which we can build. I hear you, Dr. Zambo. I appreciate those comments, and Professor Pauline. But what I'm trying to do is that we have a structure that if we are not there tomorrow, anybody can run with it, having built a structure. Having said that, I saw Dr. Chris' comments. Some things may be desirable, not essential. I agree. We're going to try to condense this paper, all right? But I think what we need to do, I don't think we should leave out any member of the critical care champions. These are colleagues that were recognized by CANECSA, and their names were sent to me and they were included. So I think what we need to do is to include everyone on this platform, all right, for the award of Foundation Fellows. That's number one. Number two, Professor Pauline, if you do remember the meeting we had with Wango, and she was asking who will decide who should have Foundation Fellowship. And we said it will rest on us, the critical care champions. We formed the core committee to decide who qualifies or not for the Foundation Fellows. So it's going to relieve CANECSA the responsibility of constituting another committee, maybe credentialing committee and all that. We, as the critical champions, form the foundation, the core foundation, and that will also translate or involve credentialing and also looking at who should have foundation fellows. All right? I think that solves it. And Dr. Sambo's concern is also valid. All right? Since we are including every member on this platform as a list, because I've been asked for the list. After this meeting, we're going to populate the list. I'll request colleagues to send me their full names and qualifications, which I will send to the appropriate authorities. Then those ones from member countries who have lesser years of experience and all that, those are special considerations. But I think what we should do, we shouldn't have a large pool of foundation fellows right now. What we can do is award these critical care champions presently on this platform as his foundation fellows, and the country reps of each member countries will now suggest other critical care experts in their countries to be awarded the fellowship, which will now ratify as the committee. I'm talking about the Critical Care Champions Committee, and such will be submitted to the leadership of CANECSA. I don't know if I've made myself clear, if it's clear enough, or if there are other lacuna that we can exploit and make it better presented. Thank you. Comments are welcome, please.
Professor Toby, if I may, I think
Yeah, please.
I like that approach, and maybe just some suggestions on how to tinker with it. About the champions, I think that is in order, and it addresses Professor Pauline's worries. Now, with the criteria, I think it's important that we have an objective criteria, even as we act as the scouts for potential foundation fellows. And you can hear me.
Dr. David, I can't hear you.
Oh, can everybody else hear me?
I
Yes,
can
loud.
hear you.
Can any other
Yes, I
person
can
hear,
hear you.
or is it only me?
Prof. Toby, looks like you are the only one who can't hear me.
Can you
Okay.
hear the rest of us?
Okay, please go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So I was saying, I think the suggestion that the champions who are on this platform form part of the foundation fellows, I think that's well grounded, and it addresses Prof. Pauline's worries and concerns about future programs and people just sitting out and waiting. So I think on the criteria, we can say, okay, for the people who are champions and help develop the curriculum, they automatically qualify to be foundation fellows. But when it comes to the other group of intensivists, I think we have to have a very objective criteria. And I like the criteria you've shared. I mean, we can modify it here and there, but it makes it objective so that even I, as David in Kenya, if somebody says, I want to be a foundation fellow, I'll say, well, this is the criteria. Do you meet it or not? The only modification I would suggest is I don't think the number of years of experience are going to make a big difference. And so what I suggest is we leave the criteria as is and remove the years of experience. Why do I say that? Because there are people who will have done all those things in 1 year. And there are people who would have practiced critical care for 10 years and have not even done half of the things that we have put as the criteria. So because countries differ, and there are some people who have a lot more zeal and energy to accomplish most of those things. So I think if we just leave the objective criteria and say, well, if you've achieved most of this, then you qualify to be a foundation fellow if you are interested and you want to teach the fellows, as opposed to putting a number of years as minimum experience. So it's rather what you have achieved, whether you have achieved it in 20 years, in 10 years, in 1 year, fair enough. You will have achieved them anyway. Those
Yeah,
are
thank
my
you very
thoughts.
much. I think that was a very pragmatic approach to it, and I think it will be considered. Thank you very much. And I think that also addresses Dr. Sambo's point. All right, Dr. Sambo, are you happy with that?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Professor Pauline?
Also, we keep in mind that there may be a difference between faculty and foundational member. You know, even if we call ourselves foundational members, foundational fellows, but still as faculty, we may need more than us to be faculty. Like in our country, in Rwanda, beyond the anesthesiologists who are critical care experienced, we have pulmonologists critical care, we have other medical critical care who are not anesthesiologists. They will not be part of the CANECSA as fellows, but they will be faculty. So no, people should not feel like if I'm not foundational fellow, I'm not also faculty. We can have list of faculty in our countries, in the region, even international faculty. We can visit from country to country. Sometimes we invite them for special lecture, for special techniques, but doesn't mean everyone must be foundational fellow. But everyone with experience and qualified can be faculty. It's another point we can make to make people not feeling like if I'm not foundational fellow means I can't teach. No, there is a difference.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that's a very good point. Dear colleagues, bear with me. I have a point that I forgot to include in the agenda that I want to also quickly point out here for our discussion, collective discussion. It was the criteria for training centers. I've also developed it. I will share with us later on at the end of this. Because one of the things that we will do as critical care champions, we will not only serve as a committee to credential people, we also serve as what's it called? What is it called now, Professor Pauline? Remind me. You know, you think like me, so tell me what I'm thinking. Accredit training centers. All right, we need accreditation of training centers, and we have minimum requirements. And the critical care champions, I want to create our indulgence that we will also serve in that capacity to accredit training centers. And the minimum requirement I'll share with us on the group maybe before the end of today. So bearing up from that is how many of us, hopefully this program will be launched to start in January. That's what we're proposing. How many of us centers, Chris, David, Mitsunge, Zambo, how many of you are ready to start if and when the program is launched this November? How many of us are ready to start the training in January?
I mean, from our
Colleagues,
end,
did you hear me?
we can hear you, Toby. Can you hear us?
Okay.
I just
Go
wanted to
ahead,
answer on
please,
behalf
Mr.
of
Gray.
Malawi. Like I think has been highlighted before, is that in different regions or in different countries, I think anesthesia is relatively young with a relative few number of faculty, and Malawi is one of those. We are hoping to get a few more graduates, but at this moment we have 5 people essentially, with me who's currently out of the country at the moment for some period. So to say that in January, Malawi will be ready to host a critical care fellowship, I don't think we will be, but I think in a year or two's time. So once again, consider that we're hoping about 6 or 7 will graduate after they do their part 2 this year. And that's the faculty we'll sort of be relying on. So it's a very young junior faculty. Similar in my case, I am 2 years in as a specialist. So it is, from our end, we will not be ready, but it's something that we're keen to do, just not in January, realistically speaking.
Thank you very much. I
So,
like that. I like that. So you are our younger sister. Dr. Chris, I want to hand over Misunge to you as as your younger sister. You're in Southern Africa together. All right, Misunge, we hear you. And beautiful, beautiful presentation. We will support you in whichever way we can.
Thank you.
You know, unlike me, I've been in solely critical care since 2013. You know,
Yeah.
solely critical care, and that's since 2013. So, and I'm sure some of us, like Pauline and Chris, will have similar experiences. But don't worry, we are together. We'll hold your hands and we'll support you whichever way we can. Thank you very much. Yes, any other comments, please?
So just
so
to give
maybe
you, yes, Masuja, go ahead.
I was about to say that I would like to echo what Tsunge has said. As for Zambia, we might be a little older, but not that much older than Malawi. But what I think for Zambia, what I can promise is that we would have the trainees to actually train under people like you, Professor Kingsley and Professor Pauline, to so that we look to in a year or two then get more trainees. Seeing that by that point, I'm sure we would have a faculty. We would have some people who would be trained. So realistically speaking, I'm not very sure about January. I would have to then sit with the team because we're still quite a few, even in the government sector. There's been serious attrition.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sambo. Well taken. Thank you very much. David, Chris?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just jumping around here. So in my hospital, we've built a new 17-bed ICU, but it's not clear. We were supposed to move in next month, but they haven't bought any equipment, and we haven't got any extra staff. So we are hoping sometime next year we will open, and then we will definitely be hoping to, yeah, maybe offer a fellowship. The biggest difficulty we have is trainers. So even in anesthesia, we are struggling in Namibia with trainers. In intensive care, it's even more critical. So I've been on call in this ICU by the end of November for 3 years, continuously, which is obviously not sustainable. And that's probably why I haven't been as active as maybe I would have liked. But obviously to train people, I think we'll have a big enough ICU with throughput, etc. But yeah, I will need at least another colleague before I can consider, yeah, taking any trainees. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chris. David?
Yeah, thank you. I guess our challenges will be slightly unique, but slightly similar to what Chris just brought up, getting the other trainers to join the bandwagon. I don't think we'll have a shortage of ICUs capable of training fellows. I think I can probably count a few in all the major towns with sufficient staffing and equipment. I think my challenge would be just to get now the people who practice in the critical care units, and most of them are run by anesthetists, so that should be slightly easier for me to get the ball rolling. January might be a bit ambitious for us, but I think we can probably get it going in a very short time, in the sense that the equipped ICUs are already there. Most of them are actually managed by anesthetists. In fact, one of my colleagues did a study not long ago, and almost 80% of the consultants running ICUs in Kenya are anesthetists already. So that should be very easy to then get them going and get the fellowships going. But then once we engage them and have them understand the curriculum and get it going. So might not be in January, but I think we will need a very short time to get the ball rolling. My hospital in particular would be probably ready, because we've been running a critical care fellowship, just started maybe a year ago, but that's being run by the university. So it is not a college-based fellowship, and I don't see why they can't exist together. So I think it would be, for my hospital, it will actually be very easy to set it up, because you already have a critical care fellowship running. It's a 2-year course, and it's a bit more broader. We admit physicians, surgeons, anesthetists. So it will be actually very easy to get, and I have anesthetists working in that ICU as registrars. So it's very easy then to say, well, rather than just work for 1 year, 2 years, you might as well join the fellowship and
Yeah.
spend your time here as a trainee rather than just providing labor. So I think we should be able to take off within a very short time. And just to comment on Prof. Pauline's point, I think one of the things we can do for the non-anesthetists is to offer them what Chris had mentioned, honorary fellowship. So for those ones who contribute significantly to the training of our fellows, we could recognize them as honorary fellows if they sustain that input, even if they are not anesthetists, and that probably will encourage them to keep going as honorary fellows.
Thank you very much. I think that's another very good input you have brought in. And the same thing happens. We've started our critical care fellowship training, anchored by University of Rwanda, and all of them are willing to join. At least 4 of them are anesthetists, 2 are emergency physicians, and they are ready to join. Actually, we are hoping to start with 4 of them. So, David, if we have anesthetists who are part of that university-run critical care fellowship, do encourage them so that they can have dual qualifications. Our fellowship training is just 1 year. So before they get the university certificate, they can actually become fellows. So I think we're in the same boat, Rwanda and Kenya, and we can start. I think we can start in January, Kenya and Rwanda. That's what I think. Professor Pauline, your hand is up.
So I have the impression that, as you said it, Toby, you always read my mind, and you know what I'm about to say. So you said it
You also
very well.
read my mind.
So, David, we are very proud of Kenya because Kenya is the giant of the region. But sometimes Kenya like to play low profile and let fast the boat go to see if it is not challenged. Then they will jump in very late, but faster than even others. So I will understand if Kenya is a little bit dubitative to join, but I don't doubt that in 5 years Kenya will be running and driving even the training in the region. But don't force. I know the antagonism between some people who are against CANECSA, some like CANECSA, but with Okello's leadership over the past year at CANECSA, I think most Kenyan now are joining CANECSA, and we may have even more than critical care to start in Kenya. But in Rwanda, what we did, Rwanda, we have the same challenges as others, even more. We have challenges more than Namibia, than Zambia, but we are thankful to the political leadership, the Ministry of Health, the government, because they allow us to get trainers from outside, like Toby and other professors from Ethiopia, who, by being with us, we managed to get this fellowship at the university. So that gives us a lot of energy to advocate for this CANEXA one to start, so our candidates from the university can follow a 2-in-1, university and CANEXA. And that one, we will also advocate for it even in the MMED, anesthesia and critical care, in the pediatric fellowship. All the subspecialty will try to make sure our fellows are following the 2-in-1. If they do University of Rwanda, they also do CANEXA. So we are ready to start, as Toby said, in January with 4 candidates. And we hope Kenya will join soon, so that because we know we have a lot to learn from Kenya, and they have a lot of resources than us. We will not even doubt one day to send our fellows sometimes in some hospitals in Kenya to get more expertise and come back. So, and also, as said, Aswazi said, if there is some fellows you would like to send, Masuzio, if you have some fellows you would like to send to Rwanda for taking the training and be fellows and go back to your country to reinforce the training team, they are welcome. And it's always better to start negotiation 1 year before joining the program, because there is a lot of documents for the medical council, because this fellowship is clinical. You can't just embark in the fellowship. You need first to be registered in a medical council, to be recognized to work, to be accepted by the hospital you are coming in. When you secure a position and this license to practice in the country, then you can join CANECSA. So those are things you need to take in account before applying for this fellowship in Rwanda. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, colleagues. We have less than 10 minutes because I don't want to keep us longer than 1 hour. Do we have any closing comments from So before we end, so we're having the agreement is Professor Pauline, Dr. David, and Dr. Talishi from Namibia would represent us at the launch of this program in Mombasa. Do we agree on that?
Yes, sir.
Agreed.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, Dr. Chris, please, you have a task to help us carry Talishi along. She doesn't have to do anything. I'm here to represent the critical care champion in my country. So, Dr. David and Professor Pauline, if there is any talk, anything, any explanation, they will do that. But so that at least we can have 3 people, which is substantial enough at the presence of the launch. Okay, and we'll work on. I will still going to have meetings with the registrar and with Dr. Wango so that the certificate, the award of foundation fellowship will also be done, even for those of us who have not been there, because the foundation fellowship award of our CANECSA anesthesia, I wasn't there in Zimbabwe, but I have my own. So those of us who are not there, we can also still be awarded, and I will populate that list and send it to the appropriate quarters. So I think that is what, and if we're asked, like we said, Rwanda is ready to start, Kenya will follow, and all of those ones will be things that will be presented at the scientific conference or AGM of CANECSA. I hope I've captured that. Is there any other thing that we need to, quickly wean off the patient from ventilator?
Professor Toby,
Misungi,
maybe
Chris, David, yes.
if I may ask, we also don't want to be ambushed. Are we expected to make a short presentation at the AGM so that we are not ambushed and say, make your presentation and then...
No, but you and Pauline, I'm sure you are all up to the task.
So,
do something.
David, we discussed with
Wango.
Witangi, something Wangi.
Yeah.
Wango.
Wango Kwitangi, something like that. So she's, I think, representing the governance committee. So I will make a short 5-minute presentation. They will give us 5 minutes. So I will not present, but just tell them about the journey and where we are.
That's okay.
5 minutes.
You. All right.
Okay. Last words, Misungi. Last word. I want to hear everybody. Last word.
I think that was clear. I agree with the plan, and the discussion was quite fruitful. So yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Thank you. Chris?
No, all good. I'll send you my CV.
Okay. Zambo?
Thank you. It's clear, and I think it's all good. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, colleagues, for your time. I appreciate this. Thank you. It's time to get critical care fellowship rolling in our sub-region. Thank you so much for your time, and do have a very wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody.